What is cracking, everybody? My name is Def Papa, and today we are doing something a little bit different. We are going to be playing some Slay the Spire, and Slay the Spire is a deck building roguelike game. I have played a ton of this game, and if I show you here, I have actually beat the highest Ascension, which is like difficulty levels. They all add layers of difficulty to it. I beat the highest Ascension with the Ironclad and the Silent. I just unlocked the highest Ascension with the Defect earlier, and here we have the Watcher, who is still on Ascension 19. So I think that's what we're going to do, is we're going to try and unlock Ascension 20 for the Watcher here. And as far as how this game works, it is a deck building roguelike. So you start with a basic deck of cards. This here is a curse. This is from one of the Ascensions, so these are all the difficulty levels that it's added to my run now. And yeah, start with a basic deck. You got 4 strikes, 4 defends, and then these are class specific cards for the Watcher. And the Watcher is really all about stances. So you can swap stance and get different benefits. So when you're in Wrath, you do double damage, but you take double damage. And in Calm, once you exit Calm, you get extra mana back. You get 3 mana per turn to start each run. And yeah, basically the idea is you go through the dungeon here. So this is the map. These are randomly generated each time, and there are 3 floors. So this is the first floor, and at the end of each floor, there's a boss, of course. And then there is a secret 4th floor, but we're not really going to focus on that for today. But yeah, as far as the different encounters are concerned, you've got regular combats with these, you've got shops with these, you got mystery events with the question marks, campfires let you rest to heal or upgrade cards, and then elites will be harder combats, but you get better rewards out of it. And I typically try to go for a lot of campfires on the first floor to make sure we stay healed up or upgrade cards along the way. And then hitting up elites is always nice too, to get the extra goodies. So this route's looking pretty good. 2 elites is a bit of a gamble, but we get 3 campfires. Potentially, actually, yeah, even 4 campfires or a shop, depending on what we do. And, oh man, actually 3 elites even, potentially. That's kind of a risky one, but we could do early shop into this. That seems like it could be a decent route. But first we got to talk to the whale here. So he gives us random perks at the start of each run. In this case, we could start with an extra max HP. Or we could make the enemies in the next combats only have 1 HP, which might be nice to make the beginning a little bit easier. And actually, if we go here, if we take that and we get this combat, and these are not combats in these question marks, this elite would only have 1 HP. That could be really, really powerful. We'll give that a shot. So these first few combats are actually going to be super, super easy, just because they don't start at full HP. So we're going to just use this time to get hopefully some really good cards to kind of scale up our deck here. And these are all pretty solid cards. I like all of these. Empty Fist is nice. Exit your stance. It's a really good way to make sure you're not in Wrath at the end of your turn, so you're not taking double damage back. Plus it gets the double damage effect, so it would hit if you're in Wrath, it would hit for 18, and then you're no longer in Wrath. This card is kind of a good scaling card for each combat. It doesn't scale over the course of the run, but retain cards just stay in your hand. They don't discard at the end like normal. And every time it's retained, it increases the amount of block you get from it, which is kind of cool. And then this is a way to apply Vulnerable, which makes our attacks do even more damage. So if the last card played was a skill, you can apply a Vulnerable, which is pretty good. But I typically like to focus on trying to be able to exit my stance and do like a bunch of swapping, just because it can be rough if you're in Wrath. You can just absolutely take a ton of damage. Here in the shop, let's see. Oh, this is not bad. Mental Fortress is really good into those stance swap builds. Every time you change stances, you get 4 block. I do also really like removing cards. You can start removing some of the weaker cards that you don't really care about. At this point, though, I think we want to hold on to our strikes. We don't want to have too much of an imbalance between our strikes and defense. So Mental Fortress might be the way to go. This is also pretty good. Cycle is always good in deck building games, of course, because, I mean, you get to draw through more cards and play things that you need more often. With 117 money, though, we can pretty much only do one of these. Let's see, these relics we can't afford. The potions, I don't typically buy the potions in the shops. This, I think, would be better for the long term, but for early game, this might be better. Trying to think about it, though. Let's go for the Mental Fortress. I think we want to focus on some hyper scaling, just because we are such high Ascension. Alright, so we just smack this guy and move on. Another Empty Fist is nice. Sash Whip is also decent. It applies weak, so you can make the enemy do less damage on their turn, which is cool. But with the stance swap build, Empty Fist is going to be a little bit better. And now here we're hoping we don't get a combat. Okay, we didn't get a combat. We got to spin a wheel. So this could be good or bad. Kind of avoid, we're looking to avoid this one specifically. All the other ones are okay. The treasure chest is probably the best one right now. Money's not bad either, though. I think that's 100 coins. Yeah, we got 100 coins from that. Pretty good. So now we could take the coin flip and hope we don't get a combat, and then that'll make this elite like super, super easy to deal with. I think it's worth going for. Ah, we got a combat. Unfortunate. That's all right. We will take him out and move on. Ooh, Distilled Chaos is kind of fun. Play the top 3 cards of your draw pile. So kind of a random what's going to happen moment. I don't think Bowling Bash is the way to go. I've not really had it be like super effective, honestly. Follow-up is really nice though. Extra mana if the last card played was an attack. Consecrate is also really solid though. 0 mana, 5 damage, AoE to everything. And if you think about the fact that we're in Wrath, that could be 10 to everything. So that's kind of a tough decision there. Let's go with the Consecrate. Alright, so we got this guy here. This guy is a tough mini-boss, or elite as they're called. He, his first turn he doesn't do anything, but he applies a buff to himself whenever I play a skill. He gains strength, so he starts smacking real hard, real quick. I think to start things off, we're just gonna go for a Distilled Chaos here. Okay. That's not too bad. Makes the Empty Fist a little bit awkward though, just because then I don't really get the benefits of exiting Calm. I could save it for next turn and have kind of a crazy next turn. That could be kind of cool. But we will definitely strike Consecrate. And yes, I say we hold. So he's going to hit us for 8. And I mean, we could play blocks to defend, but we have to remember that's going to increase his damage output by another 3 for each skill I play. So I think we just eat the 8, except that's going to hurt us a little bit. And here we are getting absolutely smacked down at this point. Yeah, this is rough. I don't have really enough DPS to deal with this guy at this point. I was really relying on the fact that he'd only have 1 HP, I guess. Let's see. What's the way to go? What's the way to go? I mean, if I do this, he's then going to smack me for 48 damage, but I can start smacking him back. I think we kind of have to go for that play, unfortunately. So... Oh, I could get the Mental Fortress in play to block a little bit. That's not bad. But then I won't be able to do the strike, so let's just try and kill him next turn. We are there. We got there. Okay. Whew. So a little bit of a rough spot at the moment. Rushdown is perhaps one of the best cards in this class. Whenever you enter Wrath, draw 2 cards. Super, super powerful. And we're definitely going to have to take the rest here. And we actually have even more incentive to rest because we can potentially get some new cards that we want. So what do we got? We got Omniscience. This is a rare card. Pretty powerful. It's 4 mana though, so it's a little bit hard to play. But basically, it lets you choose a card in your draw pile and it plays it twice. Really, really powerful. Indignation is also kind of interesting. If you're in Wrath, apply Vulnerable. Otherwise, enter Wrath. And then we have the Perseverance where we can scale up some blockage. I think we want to go Indignation here. Alright. So we're not going to use Indignation here because that's just bad. We can almost full block, play these other 4 cards. Divinity. Oh, Divinity is a stance that lets you do triple damage. And when you enter Divinity, I believe you gain 2 or 3 mana as well. So, yeah. But we're just going to hold on to that. Save it for more of a moment of need. Alright, so here we're going to go Vigilance, Defend, and then play the Rush down for the future. Because we should be able to just kill him here if we get the Eruption. Hopefully. Do I Mental Fortress first? I don't think so. I'm probably just going to be able to kill him here. I don't really feel like doing the math, but... yeah, we are totally fine. Alright, so Halt is pretty nice. 0 mana card. You get 3 block, but if you're in Wrath, you get another 9. Pretty powerful there. Follow-up is also pretty decent. And then, like we talked about, Bowling Bash is kind of whatever. I think we want the block at this point, though. Alright, so every fourth question mark room is a treasure room. Ooh, okay, that's kind of cool. And we definitely need to rest up some more. Let's see what we can add to our deck. Another halt could be nice. Miracle pluses. Interesting. So X cards work like X cards normally do in deck building games. So however much money you spend, or not money, but mana you spend on it is how much the effect happens. So for the next 3 turns, if I had 3 mana, I would get a Miracle Plus. Not that impactful, honestly. Pray is interesting. You get Mantra, and Mantra is another way to get to Divinity. Once you get to 10 Mantra, you enter Divinity there. It also shuffles an Insight into your deck, which is to a 0 mana draw 2 cards. I think that's actually really good. Let's go for that. Maybe we can do some kind of cool Divinity build. Oh, this guy is interesting. He will sleep for the first 3 turns unless you break his shield. So it kind of allows you to scale up a little bit. So I think we're just going to play the Prey here and pass. And then here we're looking for, yeah, I mean, pretty much all of this stuff. Let's see. Let's go with, I have one more turn that I could potentially do stuff with, but I think since we drew all the good stuff we wanted, we kind of got to go in now. I'm just trying to debate what's the best way to do it. It's probably, let's see, what do we got? Only one way to exit my stance on potential draw next turn. So I think we want to exit our stance. If we go into Wrath this turn, we're going to want to exit Wrath this turn. So if we go... Go Eruption into Indignation, and then Miracle out the Empty Fist. Alright, so he's smacking us pretty hard here, but we can block a decent amount of it. In fact, we can just play our whole hand, so that's what we will do. Alright, there's our Insight. I think we're going to do that. See what else we can draw. There we go, some block. That's good. Get those going. Smack him a little bit more. And now this turn, he's not actually going to attack us, but he is going to make us very, very weak. So we need to kill him ASAP. So I think that just entails Wrath into Strike. I wonder if I go Ambrosia. Let's see, next turn I'm going to have 12, 22, 40 damage, which isn't quite enough to kill him. Especially because he's going to make me weaker, so I'm going to have even less damage, actually. So we may want to go into Divinity. I guess we could do that next turn, though. So let's hold. So yeah, right, we could go Divinity here. So this is only 6 to all. Yeah, he really weakened me. I have -2 strength. Not particularly good for us. What is the way to go? I think we gotta go Divinity here to survive. So we're gonna do that. And then we're going to Consecrate, Strike, Empty Fist, and then just start blocking up. Fortunately, we were 1 off lethal. Very, very close. But we'll just finish him off here. So we're hanging in there. The early game's always pretty tough with this guy. Flurry of Blows is always fun. This is a good, like, stance swap build card. We'll go for that. And then, once again, I think we just need to rest. Prostrate is another way to get some Mantra. 0 mana as well, so it's free. Another Flurry of Blows is interesting. Meditate's also a really interesting card. Put a card from your discard pile into your hand and retain it, and then enter Calm, but you immediately end your turn. Let's go with the Prostrate. Try and get more Mantra going. So these guys are pretty tough. They like to load your deck with some status cards that just kind of fill up your deck and make it so you're not drawing the stuff you want to draw. We do have a pretty good opener here, though. If we go Eruption... Yeah, Eruption into... Well, actually, they have Artifact, so this isn't even going to apply Vulnerable to them. I could get rid of all the Artifact. That could be helpful for the future. Yeah, let's give that a shot. So we'll do that, and then we'll do 10 to all, and then so we're not taking 20 damage, we're going to take the Empty Fist as well. Alright, so we can now kill this front guy, which is pretty big for us. And then we definitely want to block the damage. The question is do we want to do Mental Fortress or Rushdown? Both are pretty good. I think Rushdown is better, but it's going to be a while until we actually get our Wrath card. So Fortress is probably a little bit better for right now. Alright, so we go Flurry of Blows. Might as well play this. Then we Vigilance. We get our Flurry of Blows back. And then we smack him some more. So after this hand, we're going to start drawing a lot of these Dazed cards, and that's when it starts getting real tough here. So, what do we want to do? I think we just got to block it up. Luckily, we are building up our mantra, and we are going to have a Insight, which should be helpful in case we get too dazed. We did not get too dazed, so that's good. Let's start with the Insight. Yeah, let's start with the Insight. Okay, a little bit of block. Now here we can kill this front guy, actually. If we exit our stance and then go into Wrath, boom, hit him for 12. And although I did end my turn in Wrath, that's a little bit of a gamble. Oh, perfect pull. So we're not taking 20, we are taking 10. And we actually get 4 block out of it too. So yeah, we are hanging in there by a thread, that's for sure. This will make us Divinity. And we should be able to win. Sweet. Not bad. If you don't play any attacks during your turn, gain an additional mana next turn. Ooh, that's kind of a good setup card. What are we looking for here? Halt's decent. I already have one though, right? Yeah, I already have a Halt. Crush Joints is kind of nice. Vulnerable can scale really well with Wrath because you double your damage and then also another 50% damage. So that scales pretty well. And I think if you upgrade it, it becomes 2 vulnerable. So it lasts for 2 turns instead of just 1. This card is okay. It's a 1 mana deal 6, but then you get a 1 mana deal 12 that's retain. And when you play it, it exhausts. Decisions. Let's go with Crush Joints. I think we need a little more DPS here. Okay, so we've got enough block to like survive stuff. If we do 9 plus 12, that's not enough to kill, but we'll have enough block to actually live. So let's do that. Block it up, and yeah, we're in Wrath, so we should be able to kill this guy next turn. Perfect, we sure can. So we're gonna go with the Strike into the Empty Fist, into the Empty Fist. Beautiful. Another Ambrosia Potion, pretty good. Perseverance could be good at this point in the game. Start trying to get a really powerful block card in there. Omniscience also could kind of pop off, especially if you use it to play something like Rushdown or Mental Fortress twice. Would be pretty cool. I think it still works with powers, even though like they only technically can be played 1 time normally. I think you can still Omniscience it. Yeah, and exhaust it. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure. I say we just go Perseverance though, try to get some blockage, and then we definitely need to rest once more, as we are still hanging on by a thread. Fasting, gain 3 strength, 3 dex, so that makes our attacks and block cards much better, but we only get 1 or 2 mana at the start of each turn instead of 3. So kind of a big trade-off there, because mana is quite important for this guy. Especially because we have a couple 2-cost cards. We want to be able to play other stuff with them. So I think we will just take the Foreign Influence. This is kind of a fun card. You can get a card from one of the other classes, actually, for that combat. So pretty fun. And yeah, this is going to be a tough boss fight here. This guy, he will hit you pretty hard, but you can pop him at 40 damage. He will kind of go into his defensive mode. And then when he's in defensive mode, he has Thorns, so he'll hit you back a lot. But if we go Flurry of Blows, Indignation, Flurry of Blows, Prostrate, we'll leave it at that for now, and we'll see if we can smack him down next turn. So yeah, we need to hit him with a lot of damage here. We should be able to do it. 18 plus 12, that's 30, and he has 37, so we need another 7 damage actually. Uh-oh, that's not great. Let's see what random colorless card we can get. Ooh, okay. Another 6 damage and I draw a card. Let's go for that. Okay, we should have it there. So 18, 12, and then we miracle out the... Yep. Perfect. And meanwhile, we're stacking up our perseverance here, so it's just getting stronger and stronger every turn it sits here. Unfortunately, we did not find a way to exit our stance, so we are getting smacked pretty hard. We can at least block 12 of it with this card right here. Outside of that, pretty rough shape. I think we just go with the defend and hold. Because we do have the Art of War as well, so that's something to consider. Now we have 4 mana instead of 3. Still in Wrath with no way to get out unless we Empty Fist. If we do Empty Fist, we are taking 4 from Thorns, which is a little rough. Maybe we start with the Foreign Influence. Deal 12 damage. Whenever you play a card this turn, the enemy loses 3 HP. Not great. Rampage could actually scale up quite nice, though. So let's do that, and then let's Perseverance, Rampage, Empty Fist, and then we're just gonna pray, and we're not gonna use these because we're just gonna take damage back, so it's not really worth it. All right, so here we need to start smacking him down again. I say we start with the Insight here. Not great pulls. Bit of a tough spot, so we could go Mental Fortress into Vigilance, but then that's it. That's our whole turn. We go Vigilance into Empty Fist, we get 2 mana back. So that's probably the way to go. And then we want to Consecrate. Definitely want to defend. And it's just a matter of, do we want to smack him for 6 or start getting Mental Fortress in play? I think we want the Mental Fortress in play. Alright, hanging in there, hanging in there. So we start with the Flurry of Blows. And then Eruption. And then Flurry of Blows again. And then we're just going to pop his form here. Alright, we did hit the Empty Fist. That's good. We got Wrath for a little bit of blockage. So I think, yeah, that's just what we're going to do. We're going to do this into the Fist. And I don't want to take more damage than I need to, so we're just going to hold. Alright, there we go. There's a little bit of blockage. We definitely want to rush down, I think. He's hitting us for 16, so we can perfect block with these 2 cards. And now we're looking to get better cards than these. So let's go Mantra, Pray. We're going to enter Divinity at least. And then smack him for 27. And we do perfect block there. Or have more than enough block. Can we take him out? Not quite. So we just need to keep smacking him. Alright, he's almost out of here. This has been a tough first floor so far. We got the damage. If we could do this into... Oh yeah, we got way more than enough damage. We can rush Joint and then just absolutely smack him with this right here. Beautiful, made it through the first floor. Alright, so here we get a rare card, and these are all pretty solid cards. This one works well with the mantra stuff we've been kind of working towards. Kind of like that one, but this card is also really good. Deal 10 damage. If it's fatal, you upgrade a random card in your deck, and that's a permanent upgrade for the rest of the run, so it makes us less reliant on upgrading at campfires, which is really cool. It is a random card though, so it might take a while to actually hit the things we want to hit. Pretty good scaling though. This is also an interesting one. Deal 12 damage. Deals additional damage equal to mantra gained this combat, which we are kind of working towards. It's a tough decision. I think the lessons learned is probably the best pick here, because it is an attack card, and remember, if we're in Wrath, it does double damage, so it makes the actual doing the fatal part of it much easier. It is 2 mana. That's something to consider. Yeah, it's a tough choice. Brilliance also kind of works really well with that stuff in mind. I say we go lesson learned. And then here we get a boss relic, and these typically are pretty powerful. Snecko Eye is generally pretty good from what I've seen, but it is very random. So you get 2 additional cards draw each turn, but all the costs are randomized. Which, now that I think about it, with like 2 cost cards, could be pretty good, but again, it could make all of my cheaper cards more expensive to play. Double the effectiveness of potions, not that great. And then this one here, probably what I'm going to take. It gives you 1 extra mana to start your turn, so we'll have 4 mana every turn. But the enemies do get 1 extra strength from it. But the extra mana is just so powerful. I think it's the way to go. But yeah, that's a little taste of Slay the Spire there. We're going to pick up Act 2 here in the next episode. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Feel free to leave a like. I appreciate you. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.